You're listening to Keeping It 100 with Mel and Bruce, sponsored by the 100 Black Men of Las Vegas. What they see is what they'll be. I'm Mel Tilley, your host. I'm thrilled to be with you this morning. And this morning, my guest is a lady that many of you know. Her name is Shelley Berkley, and she wants to be the next mayor of Las Vegas, Nevada. Shelley, welcome to the show.
Mel, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be with you this morning.
Well, I'm thrilled to have you on, and I'm thrilled to talk about your run for mayor. So, tell me this. Why did you decide to run for mayor?
Well, many people have asked me that question, and it's fairly simple. I believe in public service. It's what motivates me, excites me. It's my passion. As you know, when I left Congress, I became the CEO and senior provost of Touro University, which is the largest medical school in the state of Nevada. And I gave them my 1-year notice last June. So this June 30th was my last day as CEO and senior provost of Touro. About 6 months ago, people started talking to me about considering running for mayor. And I started to think, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? What am I good at? What can I do to continue to help my fellow man? And I decided that public service, I came to the recognition that public service is what I love the most. And Mel, I am a believer that you should do what you love for as long as you can. As you know, I have 30 years of public service under my belt. I started in the Nevada State Assembly. I was a university and community college regent for 8 years. And then the last 14 years of my public service was as the congresswoman from Las Vegas. And my congressional district overlaid the city of Las Vegas. There are very, very few things going on in the city that not only am I aware of, but have worked on in the past. And of course, my congressional district was larger than the city. It also encompassed North Las Vegas and parts of the unincorporated Clark County. And so I think I'm uniquely qualified to do this. I'm very healthy, full of energy, and I thought this would be a very good fit. And honestly, the response of the community has validated my decision to run for mayor. Everybody seems genuinely excited that I'm doing this. And I've said on a few occasions, I've been doing this for so long that people that didn't like me can't remember why they didn't like me. So they like me now.
All right, Shelley, let's say that
things go.
I love that. I love that. Listen, let's say that things go your way. And so tell me, 5 years from now, after you've been mayor for several years, what will the city of Las Vegas look like?
Well, Mel, that is a great question. I believe the next 10 years are going to be the most explosive when it comes to growth, both economically and population-wise. We're going to get the A's. I'm sure in a few years we're going to get an NBA team. And with that comes more population, more jobs, and more excitement. I think my job as mayor will be to ensure that everybody that wants to can have a part of the success. It doesn't mean much to people if the community is successful if they're not sharing in it. So I believe that I understand that very much, and I think everybody should have a say in what their government and their city council and mayor are doing. And so it's going to be exciting when it comes to economic growth. We have some serious issues that are plaguing other major cities as well. And of course, you know them as well as I do, and they're all interconnected. You've got the homeless challenge. You've got affordable housing challenges, middle income. When my family moved to town in 63, my father was a waiter, and on a waiter's salary, he made enough money to put a roof over our head, food on the table, clothes on our back, 2 daughters through college and law school. And of course, my sister and I worked since we were teenagers to help with the expenses. But I think it's important that everybody have those same opportunities. First house we bought in Las Vegas, $33,000 near Valley High School. My dad used his VA loan, and all of a sudden, we became a part of the community. We owned something. We belonged here. Home ownership, I think, is very important. And if you choose not to have a home that's affordable, if you're a middle-income family, then certainly rents and for condos and apartments should be affordable as well. And then, of course, the third leg of this three-legged chair is crime. Everybody wants to live in a safe neighborhood. They want to be able, I want to be able to send now my grandchildren out to the park to play and not have to worry that they're going to be accosted or harmed on the way to the playground, which is just down the street. And so these are the three issues you work on. I believe we should be working on it with all the municipalities, not just Las Vegas alone, North Las Vegas, Henderson, the county. And that's another thing that I think I'm uniquely qualified to bring everybody together. I know everybody, everyone will take my call. And I think we need to work more cooperatively than we have been for the benefit of the people that call Southern Nevada home, and particularly with a focus on the city of Las Vegas, because that's what I hope to represent.
Okay, I like those issues of homeless, housing, crime. Specifically, what are you going to do to address this homeless issue?
That, again, an excellent question. There are so many different facets to this. And let me preface it by saying I'm doing a deep dive right now. There isn't a business that you can talk to in either downtown Summerlin or downtown Las Vegas or in other areas near the boulevard, for example, where the business owners aren't complaining and worried about the safety of their customers. So that I'm hearing, getting an earful from the business community, getting an earful from just residents in the community. I've been talking to the rescue mission. A long time girlfriend of mine, Heather, runs the rescue mission. And I have had ongoing conversations with her. And of course, Deacon Tom at Catholic Charities. During the holidays, my family goes down and feeds the homeless. And Touro University, under my tutelage, we were sending our students down with our mobile van to give basic health care to those people that are living on the streets. I'm very happy to say that the legislature appropriated $100 million with the promise that the resort corridor is going to match that with private funding. $200 million is a very good start. You need wraparound services. Doesn't do any good to give somebody a place to live if they've got serious mental health issues. Doesn't do anything for anybody to give job training if they're hooked on opioids or other addictions. So we are going to need to address all of these issues simultaneously. And let me mention this. 30 to 40% of the people living on the streets are veterans. This is a federal issue, and it indicates to me that we are not doing a very good job transitioning our men and women in the armed forces when they come back into civilian life. And that's something we need to work on as well. So multifaceted, there isn't a single fix. There's a lot of people out there that are really suffering. And it would be my job as mayor to work with everybody else and ensure that we do the most to get people off the streets, working, self-sufficient, and in housing that they can afford.
All right. Let's talk about everybody being able to sit at the table. Mm-hmm. As you know, the Strip is a unique place.
Yes, it
Sometimes my
is.
friends and I say they print money on the strip. That's a lot of money. There's a lot of money on the strip.
Yep.
There's no doubt about that. Many people in my community feel that that for the most part we've been locked out. So, how do you plan on allowing everybody a seat at the table?
Well, you know that old expression. I used to use it all the time. If you don't have a seat at the table, chances are you're on the menu. And the idea is not to be on the menu.
Yes.
Look, the gaming is the economic engine that drives this extraordinary train that we're all on, provides hundreds of thousands of jobs. I love the gaming industry. I was involved in it for many years as a VP over at the old Sands Hotel. I appreciate what they have done. And you know, a majority of our taxes comes from gaming. What I want to see is more economic growth and diversity and inclusion. And that's why for the last 10 years, I've sat on the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance Board, whose mission is to attract businesses with good paying jobs. And in order to do that, we need to improve our education system. So again, not an easy one-word answer, but I think if you have leadership at the top that understands the importance of including everybody, and I'll give you a perfect example of where the community, and you probably know this as well as I do, the Harlem Nights proposed casino on Jackson Street. Many of the residents and the families in that area are very uncomfortable and don't feel that they've been consulted about the future of Jackson Street and whether a hotel, casino, condo project is made for that area. And I think that's an example. It's in the heart of the city of Las Vegas, where the mayor could be bringing everybody together with the developer and having intense conversations on how is this going to affect the neighborhood? What is this going to do for us? Is it going to attract African-American owned businesses? Or are we going to just be spending our money at the casino with no benefit to the community? These are issues that are very important. And again, if you have somebody that's sensitive to these issues, knows how to get things done at the top, I think we can accomplish a lot together.
All right. So we're going to get an NBA team.
I believe so.
I absolutely believe that's happening. The NBA is just too smart. They do not want to be left out. And be the only major sports organization that is not in Las Vegas. Okay, they're just too smart for that. So they're going to find a way to get here. We believe that the A's are coming. So most of the things that you talked about are things that are already going to happen, and you've talked about how you are going to manage those things. What, if anything, do you plan to bring to our community that we have not already heard about, that we have not talked about?
Well, again, another great question. I don't have a magic wand that I use bring out and use on occasion, but I think the important thing is being able to bring people together. I know that there are a number of young developers in downtown Las Vegas right now. They are young, they are ambitious, they are well-funded, and they have a vision. And they are changing the look of downtown Las Vegas. When I was a kid or when I was a teenager, we used to cruise Fremont Street. You don't do that anymore. And so I've been meeting with these young developers to hear what they are doing and what they need from the city and what the city can do to best help them get these establishments up, hire people in the community, and start adding to the tax base of the city of Las Vegas. That's the future of the city. Now, you know the A's Arena, and I don't know where the NBA will ultimately build their arena. I would hope in the city, but if not, we're still going to benefit from it. Um, between gaming, between economic growth and development, and diversity and inclusion in that in that I guess project that I'm thinking of, and I mean projects, and the building of and improving of downtown Las Vegas, this is going to be a very, very exciting time for all of us. Now, as you know, there is a limit to how much land is within the city limits of Las Vegas. So I suspect we're going to start seeing a lot of vertical growth, where you're going to see high rises that heretofore we have not had many of. But that, again, will be in Las Vegas proper, and it needs to be managed correctly, and has to benefit and improve the quality of life of all people in the city of Las Vegas. None of this is easy to do, but it's doable. And that's the exciting thing. Look, if you would have told me when I was a kid growing up here that ice hockey would be the hottest game in town, I would have told you you were nuts. We got the Stanley Cup. I loved the Golden Knights. It's just great for the community. The Raiders. Do I look like a big football fan to you? No, I appreciate it, but I don't think, I plan my Sundays just to watch the games. But if you ask me if Allegiant Stadium and having the Raiders here wasn't a great thing for Las Vegas, for all of Southern Nevada, you'd be wrong. And so imagine what a Major League Baseball team is going to be. And it's not going to be built in the city, but we'll all benefit from it. Same thing with an NBA team. I'm so excited about the future. From when we first moved to town, there were 80,000 people in the entire Las Vegas Valley. My family lived in the Boulevard Park Apartments on Maryland and Desert Inn before there was a boulevard across the street. All it was desert. Imagine what's going to happen now in the next 10 years. It's going to be extraordinary, and it needs to be managed, it needs to be shared, and it needs to be celebrated.
I love your answers. I've really enjoyed speaking with you. There's somebody listening to this show who's thinking, I have a vote. And there are a number of qualified candidates running for mayor. Shelley Berkley, why should I give my vote to you?
I grew up in this city. I love the city of Las Vegas. I have been in office for many years. I know what I'm doing. I have gaming experience. I have economic development experience. I've got a feel for people and humanity, and I want to bring everybody together. There is so much that we can do together, and I believe that I am the right leader for the future. And I would ask anybody, and you never forget to ask. Years ago, there was somebody I knew very well, and I found out that he supported my opponent. And I asked him, I said, why? Why? I mean, we've known each other forever. Why did you support my opponent? And he said, because you didn't ask me. And so I learned a very valuable lesson from that. So I'm asking everybody that's listening to examine the issues, examine the candidates, and select the candidate that you most believe will do a great job for the city of Las Vegas. I have no other aspirations. I'm not looking for higher office. I've had higher office already. This is pure public service, selfless public service, to give something back to the community that has been so good to me. When my family rolled into Las Vegas in the summer of '63, everything we owned was in a U-Haul hooked up to the back bumper. We made a life for ourselves in the middle of the desert, and it would be my hope and dream and continued public service to do the same for people coming up behind me. That's what I want to do.
Shelley, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me, and I'll talk to you soon.
You've been listening to Keeping It 100 with Mel and Bruce, sponsored by the 100 Black Men of Las Vegas. What they see is what they'll be. I'm Mel Tiller, and that's Keeping It 100.